السلام عليكم. السلام عليكم. Let's start in.
Sir, mobile motor join பண்ணி check பண்ணிருங்க sir. Audio.
Recording in progress.
Mic check பண்ணுங்க sir.
சார் கொஞ்சம் பேசுங்க.
Second day sessions from 11 a.m. was
Sorry,
presided by Dr. Sufyan Mansoor, chairperson. Second session was handled by Dr. S. Basir Ahmed, Assistant Professor of Commerce, Ramanwal College, on the topic of statistical analysis and the interpretation. Over to Sanjay.
Hello, check. Check. Hello. Hello, check. Check. Hello. Hello.
Hello? 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 Hello?
Professor, just a minute. We'd like to join the session within a minute. We request you kindly to wait. A warm welcome to the gathering. The PGM Research Department of History feels privileged to organize this 5-day international workshop. So first, I will request to start the day with Quran.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم يا أيها الذين آمنوا استعينوا بالصبر والصلاة إن الله مع الصابرين ولا تقولوا لمن يقتل في سبيل الله أموات بل أحياء ولكن لا تشعرون ولنبلونكم بشيء من الخوف والجوع ونقص من الأموال والأنفس والثمرات وبشر الصابرين الذين إذا أصابتهم مصيبة قالوا إنا لله وإنا إليه راجعون أولئك عليهم صلوات من ربهم ورحمة وأولئك هم المهتدون صدق الله العظيم.
It's time to honor the guest. Now I may request our head of the department to honor today's guest of second technical session, Dr. S. Bashir Ahmed, Assistant Professor, Department of Commerce, Jamal Mohammed College. Thank you, sir. Thank you all the dignitaries on the stage. Now we may enter into the technical session 1. Designing quantitative studies. Designing quantitative studies. Dr. Shafi Manzoor, Chairperson, Center of Research in History, Politics and International Affairs, Faculty of Social Sciences and Humanities, National University of Malaysia is with us. Sir is an expertise in arts and applied arts history, history of China, Malaysia, history of modern China, history of Malaysia also. Sir has published more than 50 papers in various Scopus journals. Sir has authored and published more than 30 books and as an active 3 major projects from various universities. The Department of History feels proud and privileged to host such a eminent guest with us. Over to you, sir.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning. I think in India it's morning. In my country is afternoon already and coming to evening. Firstly, I like to thanks to your institution who have invited me to participate in your workshop, and especially Dr. Muhammad Yasir bin Said Ibrahim Abdul Shukur, who have contacted me since last year in December, if I'm not mistaken, to invite me in this workshop. And today's I like to thanks to all of the staff in the Department of History at Jamal Mohammed College, Tamil Nadu, India, who has willing to invite me in these workshops. And I've been very delightful to accept the invitations, and I've been told that my presentation took 1 hour from now. I'm sorry about some problem with the communication just now with my network in Malaysia. Might be, I hope that as long as presentation going through, I hope that they have no error or some disturbing in network between this workshop. Okay, I'd like to share my slide. I hope that all of you hear my my voice here. Is clear or not? Hope clear. Wait, I'm trying to. Hope clear my presentation. Wait, I hope that I need to open back my quantitative, my presentation, my PowerPoint. Hope you can see in front of this your monitors in your screen my presentation. I hope you can see and you clearly hear my voice from this workshop. Okay, I've been assigned and been asked to talk about quantitative data sampling method in historical research, and then some information which Dr. Yasir gave me is about quantitative research method design, quantitative study, and then about sampling technique and sample size and determination, type data, cross-sectional, longitudinal, and experimentals, which have been assigned me. And I hope that I can cover all because it's quite limited time, 1 hour, because my presentation quite thick, some long discussions about the quantitative research method. Might be some I will not cover because of time constraint, which in this workshop. Okay, as you see in front there is my PowerPoint, the title, Quantitative Data Sampling Method in Research. So I've been introduced as Dr. Sufyan Mansor. Actually, I'm head of the history program in University Kebangsaan Malaysia, or in English is Malaysian National University in Bangi. So we go through what the content of my presentation now is about introduction of quantitative sampling and methodological consideration, type data, and conclusions that I will talk about in this shop. Okay, when we say introduction, this introduction to the quantitative samplings. Okay, when we talk about quantitative sampling, when we talk about history, normally history is qualitative method or approach. There will be talk about. But recently, there are some kind of innovation in terms of method, how to approach history. And now, as you see that there are history have been mingles with social science, social science studies and discipline, which have give some alternative to the history to see another option which can be used to study about history. This is a quantitative sampling, you see there. Okay, when we refer to quantitative sampling, we refer to the process of selecting a subset of measurable elements, such as individuals, events, object, or data point. This includes economics regarding number. Regarding number, from large group or that they say to represent the statistical analysis quantitative research to ensure that selected sample accurate reflects the accurate of the whole, allowing research to generate finding. So we can say that quantitative sampling is more, or quantitative method is more on numbers. So when we talk about, because in history, we also have data on numbers, especially the census, the populations, about export and import, the economics method, taxation, lot of is where very many you can see in the sampling itself. So the way I go through what is a quantitative sampling here. So the important in historical research, why we need to have this kind of method in quantitative sampling is a crucial in historical research because it allows historians to draw inference about population, well, know about what kind of population, even object and data by analyzing smallest manageable samples, thereby ensuring that research is both efficient and correct. This is why the quantitative sampling is important, because it's regarding number. Because before that, when we talking about the father of history, the modern father of history, the Rankian, which is more related to the document as the method to study history, and then come to the school thought of analyst groups. And 1960s is important thing. 1960s is about when history is linked with economics, statistics about economic history, which become kilometric method, which we see that the what we call that the method of quantitative is become more what we call that focused by a lot of historians, especially in economic history. While this is the comparison with the qualitative sampling and quantitative. We see that while quantitative sampling focus on numerical representation and statistical analysis, qualitative, we see the qualitative this is different between both qualitative and we call that quantitative. So qualitative sampling emphasizes deep on understanding through non-numerical data, aiming to provide rich descriptive insight into specific phenomena. So they are different. So you see that not qualitative, as I said just now, is more on number. Okay, numbers. Qualitative is more on non-numerical number. It's so I go through. This is another one. You see that type of quantitative sampling. We see what is type of quantitative sampling. We can see that there are several type of quantitative sampling method, which its own approach, selective sample from largest population or data set. So we see the primary goal of this method is to ensure the sample accurate represent broader group, allowing for reliable analysis and generalizations of results. When we see that talking about this sampling, we not make research on all the data. It's more on a small data which represent largest population or largest number, which related to economic or everything but number. So we can divide that type of quantitative sampling with probability sampling and non-probability sampling. So I like to explain it how approach of these two sampling is going through. So this is probability sampling that involve random selective giving every individual in the population and a known chance to be included. They help minimize bias to ensure that sampling representative. The word of bias has always been go through in my slide. We'll go through to other slide. We see that this is the problem, the bias. So Important thing is to minimize the bias itself, okay? Because random sampling try to avoid that kind of bias in terms of selecting the sample. This sampling method is divided into 4 types. Actually a lot, but I tried to minimize by 4, which could be used by the historian here. First is sampling, random sampling, and then stratified samplings, and cluster sampling, and systematical sampling. Okay. For more understand about this sampling, the random sampling, we can see that not all sample, all number we include in our discussion, we include in our research or our findings. There need to be some, okay, very small measure of number we use. Same like when we cook, okay, when we want to taste, when we see as our food, we only take sample by only one portion of the food, what we call it, the food. We not take all of the, not eat all of it, only take a small part. This is, we can refer analogies of the sampling. So we go to the sampling, random sampling. Actually, all of you have know what is random sample random sampling. When we see the sample random sampling here, see that every individual, number one, every individual has equal chance of being selected. We select the numbers or the data randomly. Randomly is often regarded as ideal sampling method, as it has reduced bias. It's still reduced bias there. Minimize the bias, ensure the sampling accurate, represent overall population. That is what kind of method we can see in the process is use random number, generate or lottery system to select the individual. We are blindly choose. We have no particular character, particular what we call that particular thing that we choose. We just random anybody could be used as sample. Here we'll see there is easy implement, high representative of population. So where random is whatever number we choose, there's more simple and more easy to implement there. Okay, the advantage we see minimize the bias, as I said just now. Since the selected random is reduced of chance of selecting bias sample. So sample and easy to implement is easy to understand, apply, making ideal for many research scenario. Okay. Disadvantages require complete list. You need to full list of population, which can be difficult and costly obtain. This is most important because we need the complete list of data, what we want to use, whether population, whether the export, import, whatever number, including history. To study, like this is the sample, the study voting behavior during France Revolution would need complete list of eligible voters. However, due to record keeping limitation, the common laws, historical data gaps, such as list may be not exist, making difficult to randomly selected with that sample. So the problem here is you need to have the technique here is the problem when we adopt random is we need to have the data is complete. If the data is not complete, our finding, which I can say that we can accept it, but they have some error, some difficult technical there. Said also there will be less control over characteristics. There's no guarantee that sample will reflect certain character of the population, especially smaller sample. So might be this is just probability. That means that there are we cannot what we call that guarantee the sample reflect characteristic of the population. Might be because it's very small and everything. And like study an opinion during American Revolution, there's no guarantee that a sample will represent key characteristics like age, social status, geographic location, which could lead to bias in understanding the device reviews of population. So what we see here that we might cannot see overall pictures of our results because we choose randomly. Whatever people, Tom and Harry there, we can choose. But that's why we are avoiding or maybe lacking of other characteristics like age, like social status and geographic location. That is a problem. Like when we do what do you call that lottery, and then we just took on the top of the society, not in the below. So there is a problem on this in this sampling. Another one is stratified sampling. So what is this stratified sampling? This is more what we call that more straightforward. We see that based on characters, but gender, age, and everything. That is, we see that when we see the randomly, they are seem like they are try to minimize again the bias itself. To address this, selective survey system divide population into geographic regions, strata, such as state, district, and the selected individual proportionate from each region. This ensured that every part of the country contribute to the war effort fairly, and that no single region subgroup was over or underrepresented. So this is trying to counter the early sampling technique just now. So when we choose this one, we have some idea that we can represent all of the characteristics in the society or in anything or number. So as an example here, when we see that when the British administration conduct the first all Indian census in 1876, 72, it faced a great challenge, detailed information, because India is very big country, big continents. So how make efficient on census? So they has classified the population into specific strata based on religions, caste, occupation, and geographic regions. So they are divide the group into a small characteristics which they can use as the finding in the research itself. So this is how the pattern or how the stratified sampling could be done. We see that is related to the age. Okay, and we can choose several people from age of 18 to 30. This is about voting behaviors. 31, 40, we can use some numbers on that. So we can choose from this stratum randomly from these groups. I think this I need to go next my slide. We go to advantage. There is by stratifying based on geographic and demographic character, the drop value represent higher population. So this is the advantage. Reduce sampling error. There, as we see that when we do randomly, there are some error there. So this method minimizes the chance that this appropriate number of individual from particular state or socio-economic class would be drafted, ensuring equity in the process. So that is an advantage. The disadvantage is about required detailed population information. This is important because they are particular about characteristic of the population. If we have no idea, we have no information, much information on the information of on the population, might be error there. And as an example, like Great Leap Forward in China was campaigned in China, led by Mao Zedong, rapidly transformed country from agrarian society into socialist economy through industrialization and collectivization. So, however, the data to see to make the sample is less error is a problem there because they are incomplete, inflated, and locate detail leading to catastrophic outcome because the outcome, the finding is different with the real story in Great Leap Forward. We see, I don't know whether in India they are talking about Great Leap Forward in history, China history, or the modern history, when see that the finding is different with the real story in China at the time. So important thing is mostly population formation must be defined very what we call that very detailed there because they engage the characteristic and everything there. So another one is cluster sampling. This is similar with stratified sampling. Okay, divide population into cluster. There is more divide into cluster, school, neighborhood, and each other. There is more on geographical and randomly selected entire cluster. Explain division cluster sampling. Imagine that you want to survey people in large country, mostly large country, we like India or in America's United States. We are how to see there are a billion of people there. So how we want to make a research on that. So the best sample we can use is cluster sampling. You see the image you want to a big country, so this is the suitable one. When you see first step, you see the country divided in classes, such as different city, country. Like in US might be, you can see they be divided by state like New York, Michigan, Miami, or Florida, or Los Angeles, and everything. The Idaho and everything. So we see that they are divided the country. So we cannot survey all people in America. We need to divide with the county and city there. So randomly select few this city, country, and one cluster are selected. You survey everyone with those chosen cluster. So the entire cluster is selected and all individuals within cluster are surveyed. The assumption that all individuals in the cluster will be provide data that represent entire population, even though not everyone in country is surveyed. So we see that we just use a sample. So sample each of the city like New York, Manhattan, or everything in US to do the sampling, cluster sampling. So this is the difference between cluster sampling and stratified sampling. Yeah? You see the imagine large country divide into region cluster. If you sample only few cluster, everyone city would be surveyed. So there is a this is cluster. So they're more on geographical. We see the divide by country. So we see in cluster sampling, but in stratified sampling, they in the same country, if they want to understand voting pattern, they are more on engaged characters. Character of the people might be the characters of the people among the age or religion and everything, the caste or everything that can be used. So then we randomly sample from each group to ensure that each group is adequately represented. So this is different between cluster and stratified sampling. Summary was still cluster sampling focused on selected whole cluster and within the cluster is surveyed. So mean that when we like US just now in American state, we can choose maybe want to see the pattern of the voting in US. We can just see a certain city like New York, maybe certain state like Florida, or we only choose Florida, Hawaii, maybe Alaska, or everything. So, but we do the research all of the people inside. So this is different with stratified sampling, focus on sure a structure subject. There is more on the characters. So when we study stratified sampling, they're more on the age, like where we focus about stratum or subgroups like age, like just we talking about in the US, people who have born in who have age between 10 to 12 only we survey. Every people is 10 or 12 we survey. Every country, every state there is different with cluster sampling. Yeah. Hopefully, I hope that I'm not so. I hope that my presenter, you can follow my presenter. If something you can ask later. Okay, another advantage, you see the advantage, efficient, cost-effective, large geographic dispersed population. Yes, we agree with that because we not survey everything, but like in US or India or in China, we're not doing research mostly all people there. Mostly we more on a selective cluster there. Efficiently would we have been prohibited expensive logistic complex survey individual for every village town in India. We see that they are more efficient there. By using cluster, British Commission could be gather data more quick and cost effective. That is advantage. But if they got the advantage, they have also got what we call that disadvantage there. High risk of sampling error is cluster and not homogeneous. So if there are very different people, this is a problem with the clusters sampling. In historical research, the high risk of sampling bias when using cluster sampling arises when the clusters select do not accurately represent broader population of previous study. So there is some error there. Maybe there are people not the same character, something there is a problem there. Sampling bias involved when some group perspective events are systematically overrepresented or underrepresented, leading to skewed and incomplete conclusion about historical phenomena. This is a problem with that. So be careful. That doesn't mean that we cannot use this sampling, but careful that when we do that, we need to see overall. We try to avoid any overrepresentative or underrepresentative like this. This is the what we call the example. We can see that like Great Depression. So Great Depression, where suppose we want to do research on Great Depression in 1920, 1929. In fact, small business in the United States are used cluster sampling. We use sampling in Chicago, New York, and Los Angeles. So how sampling bias arise there? Overrepresented urban area. This is a problem. We might choose the urban area. There's city or large urban center with relatively diverse economic access to federal recovery program. By focusing on the city, sample exclude small town, rural area where economic impact was often more severe, particularly in agriculture and mining dependent community. So this is mean that overrepresented the urban area. The small country might be we avoid it, but we cannot see the true picture of what cause or what is the consequence from Great Depression. Might be underrepresented. Another one, a regional group. Historical data from this city might reflect business owner by white middle class men, as a community owner by women owner business are often less preserved, harder to access. So is another issues when we see that there are we choose because of data, maybe data on the middle class white men, something that is more preserved than that the marginal people like the women's, like children, like other colored peoples. There might be there a problem when we're talking about this sampling. Okay, another one is systematic sampling. This is more collecting one. The sampling is historical research as a method where research select data or at regular interval. There's important interval from large population or data set. This approach ensure a degree randomness while sampling selection process. In context of historical research, systematic sampling can be practical way to work with intensive historical record or database. Might be happen. Intensive historical record database there. Okay, this more interval. We choose not actually randomly, but the data is selected by regular interval. They have some calculation on that. We see here. This is the how systematic sampling work. data defined population. This is the example I try to show. There are population referred to the entire set of data that you are studying. Okay, initial research, this could include archival record like legal document, ship log, court proceeding, letter, or personal diary for specific period, census data, individuals listed in census. So step 2, determine the sampling interval. We want to see the K1. Sampling the sample interval or donated as a K as regular interval, which atom will be selected from the population. Determine K defined total number item or in the population by desired sample right. This is a formula. K1 population size sample and everything there. For instance, if the historian has 100 letter but on need on study 1,000 letter but on the need to study 100 letter, the interval will be K 1,000 subscribed by 100. This is 10. That means that there will be selected every 10 letter. There may be, if the population every 10 people. So interval that will mean that we can select number 1. Maybe we start number 1, and second is number 10, and from number 10 maybe from 20, and 20 from 30. That is how these systematics work in the sampling. Why it is important? The sampling interval help to ensure samples spread evenly across that data set, make more representative. So this is important of this systematic sampling work. So this is another example we can use how this what we call that, the sampling interval was systematics was used. Same as I explained just now. Let me say the research study records from 1880s, specific region, defined population, entire census content 100 records. So interval, we see that every 10 selected, so we can choose. Number 3, we see that we are selected 10 interval number there. So when we start with 6, or we can start any number. We can start number 1, number 2, and here they are select number 6. So from number 6, we go to number 16, 26, and so on a 10 interval number there. This is already random. So what its work is method ensure that sampling evenly distribute across the data set. Okay, avoiding cluster or over-representative certain period, region, individual, starting the random point, systemic sampling, combine efficient regular interval with the randomness need to minimize bias. This approach is especially used in historical research, where large data need to be sampled efficiently without losing representativeness. So this is why they work. So I need to be fast because I have little time there, but a lot of things. Never mind, I have anything. This is the advantage. I just go through so quick here. Advantage we see is faster, small effect implement with clear, regular interval, selective, ensure spread out sample that represent in whole population. Risk bias. Okay, again, bias is another issues when we use this any sampling there, because doesn't mean that it can be used, but you need to be careful that, because might be we can see that if the population had been regular pattern that coincides with the sampling table, it would lead to biased result. Where if the data repeat every few records, systematic sampling might over-present certain class. So there might be certain people might be, when we're talking about the prosperity of the country. So when to see how the people prosperity, might be we just over selected the people who have rich only, but the poor people may be left or not choose by the system. Study produce data if product cycle repeat every 10 unit and sample every 10 unit could miss variation of cycle. There also there's an important thing between 1 and 10 might be in the between. There are some characters where we miss in the research. So Doesn't mean it's not be used, but there are some probability that we must be more careful in terms of choosing this systematic sampling there. So this is the random point when let's just go through, because we need to go through non-probability sampling. Elements are selected based on non-random character, which can be quicker and easier, but more introduce bias and limit generalize the result. It can be useful exploratory research, or when research are limited. The sampling method divide into 4 types. Actually got a lot of type, but I just go through this is several of type which I choose in this presentation, like convenience sampling. I will explain quota sampling, snowball sampling, and also purposive sampling that. So I go through one by one. I try to make it more fast because the time is not allowing me to talk much about this convenience sampling, everything. So convenience sampling is historical research refer to selected source, recommend material based on ability and accessibility rather than to systematic or random method. This method is often used when time, resource, and access to certain archives are limited. So we just when this is an advantage, this is the benefit we use the convenience sampling, because some record is not well preserved. So we need to choose, okay, you need to choose which record can be used to make our research there. So example here, the historian want to examine the effect of Great Depression on urban workers in US. Due to limit time and resource, they decide to focus only to New York. So only one place. So there are not every place in US they do. The small place only, one place. But when we compare with the cluster just now, there are many places we choose. This is only one. We focus only one. Because archival records, such as employee report, personal diary, newspaper articles, are easily accessible, well preserved in local library. This is presumed that in New York, there are all records were preserved as well preserved by the authority at that time. Advantage: quick, useful preliminary research when the constraint, reduce travel, logistic cost because we just go one place. Provide starting point when broader access to resources limited. Bias may be bias, simple may be not present, the sample not present a device perspective, experience, relevant history period. Limited generalization finding may not accurately reflect large historical context. Risk missing key insight, important source might be overlooked because they are not readily accessible. So that is the disadvantage of using the sampling convenient, because the importance of this convenience sampling is best used to there is more on short research. Maybe we need to be quick report, like exploratory study, pilots research. So we want to know quickly about a certain thing. You use this sampling to produce our results, to produce our finding later in terms of that. However, is mitigate bias often combined. So try to mitigate, try to reduce the bias. We try to use other method or technique that can reduce the bias here, or supplement with additional research as more research become available. So this is when combination is used. Purposive sampling, the sampling uses historical research by deliberately selected special source that are most relevant to the research question. So this is more on important. The key importance of the purposive sampling here is selected specific resource. So the example here, if the research focus on political activities in 1960, we just point or just looking on the people or individual who is active in protest or involved in civil rights movement in the year 1960. We did not choose every percent. Like random sampling, they will choose every percent there. Not, but purposive is particular case study. So when 1960, when we were talking about political activities, only person involved in the even civil right we choose, but not everyone. This is the different. That's important of progressive sampling. Then. Focus efficient allow research concentrate in most relevant source, having resource, so this is important. Subjectively, research judgment selections can be just also again biased there. So we can minimize the bias later. The quota sampling, I try to go fast. I think it have been takes a lot of time of this talk. So I hope that I will cover all my presentation. Quota sampling is type of non-probability sampling where researchers select a participant or source meet specific predefined quota based on certain character or trait. Goal is ensure a certain subgroup, or category of interest are present in the sample proportion that reflect the importance of the study. In his research, okay, slide are not shown at all. Oh, the problem with the slide. I do not. Can you see the slide in front? Okay, maybe the problem with the network. Try to again. Okay, from beginning. Oh my goodness. Sorry about that. We are already almost 30 minutes there. How to do that? Okay, right. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. Because I'm not familiar with this. What do you call it? Okay. Oh, what's up? Entire might be here. Can you see it? I tried the best to do that. Maybe you can send. Oh, you can send. Okay, later I will send to you. This quota submit. Okay, thank you. Okay, response. So sorry about that. I still got time to talks. Still got time, is it? Because I already passed 1 hour. Okay, if you know answer them, maybe I can continue. I try to make it more faster. Yeah. Okay. This historic example, economic social impact probably. This is example. Okay. You may kindly rush this slideshow. Okay, rush this. Okay. This is the quota one, and I need to go. We no need to talk about this one, and I go to snowball sampling. This method uses historical research and identifies excess hard to reach specific population in method. Initial participant source are identified, and they then refer to researcher to other potential particular resource regarding snowball effect. So this is more on how we get the sources from one person or several person, and from there we got the sources from the people we have integrate or we have make a research like here. So there are the recruit process. The process start with one of few initial participants who refer to other from network, forming chain of referral extent as pool. Ideation for use method is particularly useful for reaching out to access hidden population. Or you kindly send the slide. Okay. Okay, I will send it to the organizer on that thing. So I finished already, or my time is already done, or I need to stop here. Oh, I can continue, is it? Okay. Okay. Later, I will give this slide to the organizer. Disadvantage. Okay, I go through. Okay, sorry about it. This type of data, in historic data, is that understanding past event trend chain of time. Historical like different type of data, get information, draw conclusion about past. Sorry, I'm quite fast here. The type of data choose often depend on research question, ability, source, and time frame being studied. So this is the data that I will discuss, cross-sectional data, longitudinal data, and experimental data here. So cross-sectional data, this is more on, when you're talking about cross-sectional data, is more on one particular time only. So I can summarize as one particular time. We're not going to other other research. Mean that when we're talking about 1930s, we're just talking about 1930s event or what happened in that particular year, but not go through. Like different with longitudinal data, there's more on data is frequently several years we choose because we want to see the outcome, want to see the what we call that the impacts on certain things like policy, government policy. When government policy do something, what effect in other particular times there. And this is the comparison between cross-sectional and longitudinal research here. This is study of population growth, migration trend, economic development, regional over several decades, and it's a long-term effects, even like war, colonization, and technology innovation. This is related to the longitudinal research that we see here. This is one because when we talk here, my mouse not working. Okay, this is the cross-sectional. This is particular time. Just we're talking about one particular time. This is different time. Might be year 1960, 1950, 1940 here. So we are see the changing here. Might be the effect of the like now before the 1920s. We see the effect of the vaccine. The vaccines of what we call that, I forgot the name of the virus there in 1920. So we see the how effectiveness of the medicine have been provided to us. So that's important thing how we see the what we call that, the progress, the impact there. The experimental is we try to we cannot recreate the past. Okay? Important thing, what happened to the past, we cannot recreate it. Important thing is try to gather some information, okay, the record, okay, record, the report, personal account about something is happening. So from there, we have opportunity to understand the true story. So we experimental is more on how we see the what we call that, have passed. We can see how the data can talk about the policy of government itself. So they are more on experimental data. Okay, conclusion, the history research sampling type data are crucial for understanding past. Sampling method like random snowball for sampling help researchers select relevant source individual study, ensure that the findings are represent and meaningful. Each method is pros and cons. By using combination, there can be quite more reliable results. So we see that we cannot rely more on one sampling. Might be we can try to avoid bias there or error there. We can use several sampling there. Different type of data is cross-sectional data, snapshots at a specific time, longitudinal data collected over the time of a different site into the event. This is different between the data cross-sectional data. Talking just now about longitudinal and cross-sectional data. Cross-sectional data help to understand the moment of history, while longitudinal data show how things change over time. So they have some important both of this data. Experimental data which come from studies, even like policy and war, can help researchers see cause and effect relation between event and impact there. Be careful choosing a right sampling method and data type. Historian can gain a deeper and clear understanding of history, revealing patterns and long-term effect history events. So this is just what we call that when we doing research, it must be know but what sampling we use and must know about the advantage and disadvantage. But although that disadvantage can be what we call that we can be uh, uh, settled or can be reduce the bias or error by choose other sampling tool or using two sampling to avoid any disadvantage there. So I think that's all. Have any questions? So I still have I done already. Is it? I will send this to the organizer. Sorry, I not include all which have been asked me to do because it's a very constraint of time. I will send this one to the organize. I think to Mr. Dr. Who's this? Yasir, yeah? Dr. Muhammad Yasir. I will send to him and Dr. Muhammad Yasir will distribute to all of you. Okay, that's all for me from now.
Thank you, Professor. Thank you for a wonderful technical session. So now we can have any question and answer sessions. The participants can raise their questions. Any doubts regarding the presentation can be clarified. Participants can raise the question to the guest. Thank you, sir. Thank you for a wonderful session.
Thank you. And then my session is done already. I can leave now, is it?
Yes, sir. Sure. Yes.
Okay, thank you very much.
It's most
I will
privileged.
send my slide to Dr. Muhammad Yasir. Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and have enjoyed your workshop.
Thank you, Professor. Thank you. We'll reconvene to the sessions after a short break. Thank you. Check. Hello, check. Sir, please. Okay, done, sir. Sir, hello, please. Participants, kindly say that is the guest audible to you? Participants, kindly reply, is the guest audible to you? Sir, need very to check.
மைக் வேண்டாமா மைக் வேண்டாம்
Complete.
Assalamualaikum. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. I'm very happy and excited to be acted as a resource person for this 5 days international workshop organized by the PG and Research Department of History. First of all, I express my sincere thanks and gratitude to the head and faculty members of History Department, particularly Dr. Yasir, for providing me such opportunity to act as a research person. Today we are going to see in the second technical session of day 2 is statistical analysis and interpretation. Statistical analysis is the important concept in the research. Before going to statistical analysis works like a lifeblood of the research. Lifeblood is important for all the human being. Likewise, statistical analysis is important for the research. Statistical analysis is a process of collecting data after After collecting data, it is analyzed through statistical packages. After the analysis, it is interpreted using some techniques. Statistical analysis is actually involving in finding solution to the problem or to make informed decisions and to draw the perfect conclusion and also to predict the future. Data interpretation is of understanding the result of statistical analysis. If a statistical analysis in forms of table or any other thing, it must be interpreted based on our understanding. Even it may be a chart or any table, we have to understand. Based on that, we have to interpret to find the conclusion. Statistical analysis are two types. First one is qualitative data analysis and quantitative data analysis. Qualitative data analysis is the process of analyzing non-numerical data. It is used for answering a research question, developing products or services, improving product and website, even generating new theories. For this purpose, qualitative data analysis is used. It is normally called as secondary data. Even qualitative data analysis includes images, a video, text, or even anything. It is a study of human experience and human behaviors and social phenomena. The software for qualitative data analysis, there are n number of data analysis tools for qualitative as well as quantitative data analysis. For qualitative data analysis, the commonly used software are Atlas, Maxda, and NVivo. NVivo are commonly used software. Quantitative data analysis is the process of using numerical data. It helps to understand our informed decisions, even to predict the future, to find the perfect conclusion and also find the solution to our problems. It is used to take quick decision making and even to manage the project, to take good decisions and find a solution for finance and marketing issues and production planning, even for evaluation of the programming. Evaluation is the most important. To evaluation of any event, we can use quantitative data analysis. Quantitative data analysis software are SPSS, statistical packages for social science, R package, Python, SAS, statistical analysis system, and even Stata. SPSS is the most commonly used software packages for qualitative data analysis because it is user friendly and no coding is needed for SPSS packages. Today we are going to see about the SPSS. Let me explain what SPSS. So SPSS means statistical packages for social science. It's also known as statistical product and service solutions. It is highly used even in complex data manipulation. This is the screen of SPSS. While opening the SPSS, the screen will appear. It's like just an Excel. Easily we can handle. There are two options, data view and variable view. Data view is to manage the data to enter or edit or anything we can use it. A variable view is to manage the variable, to change the variable type, size, column, and even for naming the values and coding of data. While using the statistical tools or software, we have to understand the scales of measurement. There are four scales: nominal, ordinal, interval, and ratio scale. Ordinal scale is used for ranks, for top 10 videos or top 10 colleges or top 10 courses like that. We have to use ordinal scale. In interval scale, it is used for Likert scale. Normally in quantitative data, they use the Python Likert scale. Likert scale means highly satisfied, satisfied, neutral, dissatisfied, and highly dissatisfied. Like this, 5 point is measured to to understand the satisfaction level of the respondent. Likewise, interval scale is used. Nominal scale is for gender, age, and for the personal demographic information. Ratio scale is used for salaries like that. The following analysis can be used in a spaces of frequency table. Even in frequency table, we can prepare chart from the table. Not only the frequency and percentage. Here we can easily use standard deviation, mean, median, mode variation, and many things. Descriptive statistics, standard deviation are even we can use cross tabulation for comparing two variables. Linear regression analysis. This is a sample for descriptive statistics. From the analysis menu, we can go for statistics, descriptive statistics, then frequencies. This is the output from the SPSS. This is the frequency table, and even we can prepare chart at the same time. In the descriptive statistics, if we use some options, mean, median, standard deviation, minimum, maximum, like that, if we need, we can access it. Graph. There are more types of graph, not only pie chart or bar chart, even histograms are possible to use in SPSS. Bar chart, pie chart, line chart, and as well as a histogram. This is the output for regression analysis. One sample t-test, the independent sample t-test, third t-test. Now we will see the software. Actually, for collecting the qualitative and quantitative data analysis, we can have to frame some statistical sampling method. From that, we can collect the data. For this purpose, I already prepared some questionnaire, which is collected using Google Forms. This is the output of the data collected using Google Forms. The time when they responded, their username, name, the gender, age, occupational status. What we need, we can get the data from using Google Form. It is very useful. When we are collecting the data, it shows only the male or female. It is not the quantitative data. It is a qualitative data. We have to change into numeric. For male, we have to code it as 1, or female 2. Like this, we have to change it here. And only we have to manipulate in SPSS software. I will show you some example. this is a way. SPSS. When it open, we can find here data view and variable view. Data view is used to enter the data. In the heading, it is known as a variable name, gender, age, like we have to rename it. This is like an Excel sheet, like a spreadsheet. We have to enter easily. For gender, we have to easily manipulate here. Even in the variable name for the heading, we have to enter like gender. We have to change the type of the data, numeric for the quantitative data use numeric. Suppose I will input Google form collected Excel sheet, it will show us a string, not considered as a numeric data. For that only we have to change into some numeric terms.
இந்த கம்பெனி மாமா வேலை பார்த்துருக்காரு.
In the variable view, I entered a gender. It shows here a title. I will enter some details. 1 for male and 2 for female. They can use as a comfort. In the variable view, there are some things. Name. In the name, we have to enter without any space or repetitive words. Otherwise, it can't accept. If there is any space between the value names, it won't accept it. In the label it is used for giving the brief definition of the title. We are not in the name. We are not able to give the actual title. For example, for that only the label when is used. Like here, I can give with the detailed gender of the respondent. Value is used to redefine the values. Like I enter 1. It's called as a male. I valued the name 1 as male and 2 as female. I entered some number 3 also. If I enable the value names, it shows male and female. For the 3, it doesn't give anything, so it shows that. If suppose we have mistakenly entered something, it shows. Or suppose there's any missing value, it also shows in the frequency table. For this variable, we can do analysis. In the analysis menu, descriptive statistics, then frequencies. In statistics, we can use mean, median, mode, or even what we need standard deviations, variance. This is the output. of SPSS frequency table. Actually, we entered male and female. The number 3 is entered 4 times. We enable the mean, median, mode, standard deviation, and variance, and that answer is also done. Likewise, we can use not only frequency table in the analysis menu, we can see frequencies, descriptive, cross-tab analysis, and in compare means you can see one way ANOVA, t-test likewise, and correlation, regression. Even we can use the ranking analysis for the rank related data. Even factor analysis and cluster we can do in the SPSS. This is a method for entering data. Even if I collected data from the Google form, I can import it easily without typing and wasting the time. For that file, open and data. In that, we have to choose a folder name, change the file type as Excel. This is the another file for the Google form I already showed. Here I have entered the labels and as well as the values. For gender, the values, first one for the one male and 2 for female. Likewise for the age, 1 for below 25 years, 2 for 25 to 45 years, 3 46 to 65 years, and 4 above 65 years. Likewise, we have to even match some factors for analyzing. This questionnaire is used for analyzing the customer's preference towards electric vehicles. Even we can find the cross tabulation. From that, how many gender, male and female, are between the age group or the educational qualification. Likewise, we have to found gender and their educational qualification. Yeah. And the end shows there are 300 respondents. There is no any missing number. Out of 300, no formal education, only male, 3 males, they have no any formal education. At school level, there are 12 male respondents. College level, 198 respondent, male respondent at college level, 21 female respondent at college level. Likewise, we can found and analyze what we need. I will show some ranking analysis for non-parametric test and K-related sample. non-parametric test, Friedman rank test. Here I have given 5 variable for ranking. Here mean rank is called as a mean score. Here which is less is called as a first rank. For the electric vehicle, there are 10 factors I used. Price, fuel economy, style, design, driving comfort, resale value, latest technology, pickup, road grip, storage space, and after sales service. From that, we can easily judge the customer respondent based on the ranking, what they prefer, and how we can satisfy their needs. Is there any doubt or understanding? If you have any queries, kindly comment. SPSS. SPSS அப்படின்றது ஒரு கோடிங் கிடையாது, ரொம்ப பெருசா கோட் பண்ண தேவையில்லை. பைத்தான்ல யூஸ் பண்ணலாம், அதில் கோடிங் நம்ம நிறைய கொடுக்கணும். இதில் வித்தவுட் கோடிங் ஈஸியாக அனாலிசிஸ் பண்ணிக்கலாம். Even we can use a correlation as well as a regression. Correlation, I will compare age. I use the correlation to find the relationship between the age and cost aspect, technological performance, and brand image. With this factor, I compare. We can find one is the highest positive correlation. Correlation value is between the -1 to +1. When comparing age between the cost aspect, the correlation is negative. And technical aspect also the correlation is negative. In performance, they are mild positive. When comparing to the age, the correlation shows most of the factors they are highly dissatisfied. Based on that, we have to write the interpretation. From the output, we can just copy and paste in the MS Word. We can easily access. There is no any difficulties while using SPSS. Before before analyzing the data, we have to check the reliability. Reliability means the originality of data. We can check the data originality using comparing all the values or some variables. If I select nearly 10, alpha test is going to conduct. Coulombic alpha value shows 0.373. More than 0.7 is accepted for doing analysis. While I am comparing all the values, it shows more than 8. So that only I will do analysis in this area. There are many analysis in that. Even we can compare some variables. Even in cost aspect, there are 4 or 5 variables. We can compare it to one heading. Any doubt or clarification? Participants? ஆமா ரோபேக் ஆல்பா அப்படின்றது டேட்டா ரிலேபிலிட்டி செக் பண்ணாங்க நம்ம அனாலிசிஸ் தகுந்த மாதிரி இப்போ நீங்கள் சாம்பிளிங் சூஸ் பண்ணியிருப்பீங்க ரிலேபிலிட்டி என்ன சாம்பிளிங் நீங்கள் எடுக்கிறீங்களோ அதுக்கு தகுந்த மாதிரி டேட்டாவை பொறுத்து நம்ம என்ன டூல்ஸ் வேணாலும் போடலாம் நமக்கு வந்து டேட்டா அந்த ஃபேக்டர்ஸ் வந்து டிஃபைன்ட் அப்படின்னு சொன்னால் தாராளமாக நம்ம அனவா போடலாம் கார்லேஷன் ரெகரேஷன் நிறைய டூல்ஸ் இருக்கு நம்ம போடலாம் statistical packages அப்படின்றது not only for social science or commerce or management எல்லா ஃபீல்ட்லையும் யூஸ் பண்ணலாம் நம்ம யூஸ் பண்ணாதான் நம்மளால இப்போ உள்ள டெக்னாலஜில இருந்து நம்ம தப்பிக்க முடியாது டெய்லியா கொடுத்தோம் அப்படின்னா நம்ம மாட்டிக்க முடியாது ஏன்னா பிளாகரிசம் வந்து அவாய்ட் பண்ண முடியாது நிறைய வந்து ஆர்டிஃபிஷியல் இன்டெலிஜென்ஸ் டெவலப்மெண்ட்னால we have to change any clarifications? Thank you. Once again, I thank the Department of History for providing me such opportunity. I also congratulate all the participants for your participations in this workshop. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor, for a wonderful session with us. Thank you. With this, we'd like to wind up the day's sessions. We'd like to reconvene the sessions at tomorrow as scheduled. Thank you. Participants, kindly don't forget to fill up the feedback forms, which will be calculated as attendance for your session presence. Thank you.